The regular meeting of City Council for Monday, June 15th, 2026. The City of Dawson Creek acknowledges that we are privileged to live and work on Treaty 8 territory in the traditional home of the Cree, Danese, Saulteaux, Sikkini, and Slavey First Nations. We value the Métis peoples that live and gather here. We commit to upholding the respectful relationship these nations have built with the land, and we acknowledge our responsibility to carry that forward today and into the future. Two delegations. 2.1, we have Judy Kucharuk, Director of Marketing and Partnership, and Melanie Moore, Interim GM with the Ovintiv Event Center in attendance regarding the presentation of the 2025 annual report. So, morning, ladies.
Morning.
How are you today? You're just going to push your button on the mic if you can, and then I'll turn it on.
Thank
and
you.
There you go. The floor is all yours.
Oh, we got it. Perfect. Thank you, and I'll go there.
Sir.
Thank you. Judy, got one more?
Oh, one more?
Just leave one for Councillor Parslow.
Miscounted? Thanks.
You wanted one, you should have showed up.
Go for it.
All right. Ready to go?
Yes, the floor is all yours. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having us here today to present the 2025 annual report for the Ovintiv Event Center. Our team is very proud of what we accomplished in 2025, continuing to support and engage with the community and continuing to bring exciting events into the venue. We're about to head into Grad Week for the 2026 DCSS grad, and we're very excited to be host of this event and to see all the families and graduates celebrating. In 2025, we held a total of 114 events, which were, again, a mix of arena, Co-op Mercer Hall, community, city, and regional ticketing. 2025 brought some great new events to the center. We installed ice from September to March for the trial run of the OEC being the second ice service, while the Kin Arena held the sports floor. During this time, the Dawson Creek Kodiaks held their home games, as well as the Dawson Creek Minor Hockey, Northern Hockey League, and Dawson Creek Fossils Hockey Club practiced and held tournaments. Mile Zero Figure Skating Club and private rentals rounded out the remainder of the ice usage, and it was great to have the community in the building on a daily basis. We were also host to the first of its kind in Dawson Creek Cultural Gathering of Nations in September of 2025. This event included hand games, tea dance, round dance, powwow, and marketplace. The event was well attended and well received by all, and we are looking forward to hosting this event again in September of 2026. To finish off the year, we hosted the 2025 Parrot Cup, where we welcomed teams from Canada, USA, China, and Czechia. These events are always a great way for the community to get out and take part in an international event without having to leave the Peace region. The Parrot Cup host organizing committee created many opportunities for fundraising, including Goal Line Getaway Program, which brought in students from School District 59, School District 60, and Peace Wapiti School District to enjoy the games. Ovintiv and Dawson Creek Cooperative Union raised $10,500 and 200 food bags for local food banks through the Goals for Food fundraiser. With the acquisition of the Para Kit, we are now able to participate in future bidding opportunities, which we are excited to explore. Co-op Mercer Hall continues to grow as a great part of the venue to host everything from meetings to galas and Christmas parties. This part of the venue has hosted the annual South Peace Palliative Care Gala, large Christmas parties for companies like Birchcliff Energy, and our very own Haunting of Co-op Mercer Hall community Halloween event. There are many monthly rentals for safety meetings and annual Christmas parties for community businesses and partners. And now I'll hand it off to Judy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us this morning. So early last fall, we were pleased to launch our new website. The website was a capital project and was completed by a company called Carbon House. Emily, our marketing manager, worked closely with the Carbon House team on the branding, the new site layout, and content, and we're really happy at how it turned out, bringing our site in line with comparable venues. It was quite out of date, and so to see this shiny new website is very gratifying. 2025 also marked a naming rights renewal with Ovintiv, where we renewed for 3 more years. We've enjoyed partnering with Ovintiv on various community initiatives and look forward to other opportunities throughout the coming years. Both of our naming rights partners, Ovintiv and the Dawson Co-op, were very supportive of the 2025 Para Cup. Mentioned previous by Mel, they sponsored the Goals for Food campaign, just one of the creative campaigns designed by the 2025 Para Cup Organizing Committee. The creative campaigns were such a highlight during the Para Cup, and it was such a pleasure to work with an organizing committee who had such a unique approach to community involvement and support that we helped facilitate through our marketing department. The Goal Line Getaway Program was one such initiative, a program giving students from School District 59 and 60 the opportunity to experience the Para Cup. A huge shout out to the sponsors who made that happen. The list is very long, or I would go through it. I can personally attest to the sound volume in the venue when the students were in attendance. Thank you again to Ryan McIver and Chelsea Modishaw for their leadership, their vision, and during the planning and execution of the event. So as this is my very last annual report produced in my role of Director of Marketing, I'd like to thank the Mayor and Council for their support over the past 10 years that I've been with the Centre. I look at the marketing annual report as a love letter to the previous year, and it's always a pleasure to go through it and put something together that's going to be illustrative of our previous year.
That's it. I think we can welcome questions now.
That's it, okay. Well, thank you very much for the presentation and the report. And just before I open up to council, I just wanted to just thank you for being here this morning, but I also want to thank you, Judy, for just your time at the facility and how much of your heart you've put into that facility. It's definitely shown, and yeah, just wanted to just personally thank you from myself and council for your commitment to the facility, and you did an amazing job there and always have for our community, so thank you. You're welcome. Any questions, Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I truly don't have any questions. Honestly, I just want to congratulate you guys on another great year. I know for me personally, every time I'm in the building, whether it's at a conference, an event, or anything else, you guys represent the community and the region in the most professional, amazing way. I've never heard a negative comment from anybody who's visited the center. It's truly an amazing gem we have here in the community and the region, and thank you. And I will just agree with the mayor. Young lady, you are going to be very missed. I can tell you I missed you at the last event. And I truly believe your presence will be felt in that building for a long time yet. Thank you for 10 years of great hard work. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl?
Thank you, Worship. And I would echo the sentiments expressed by my colleagues here with respect to Judy and with respect to the work you guys have done. I appreciate this document. I think in particular there's a lot of things highlighting, but what I found particularly impressive was the increase in utilization of Mercer Hall and the implications that have for the revenue, and the fact that you guys have been able to get as much use out of it in such a variety of ways, and it hasn't impacted the subsidy or or I guess impacted for the better the books, but with respect to our part of it, the subsidy hasn't increased in doing that. So great to see, and yeah, look forward to the next year. I know asking you guys to take on hockey was a lot, and that changes kind of the nature of how the facility operates, and that'll have some knock-along impacts for several years now. And I guess last but not least, I should always highlight Tyler and his team, looking through not only just how the state they keep the facility in, but looking through the energy usage and gas and hydro, and how Keen and they manage that and manage those costs on behalf of all of us. So if you'll please extend my sincere appreciation to them as well, that'd be great.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor Apollonio?
Thank you, Your Worship. I want to personally say thank you for the Ovintiv. Of course, to Judy, you're always a ray of sunshine every time that I walk into the Ovintiv Event Center. And every time I go there, it's always polished, it's always good. So it's as Kyle said, professional. And thank you very much for maintaining such facility for us and looking forward for a more positive and more productive with the new replacement for you. So thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. Other questions? Just had a couple questions. You said there was 114 events last year. Is there a target that you try for each year? And then also the second part of that is I was just wondering if you know how many days the facility was used throughout the year, which.
I don't on me have the how many days,
Okay.
but I can get that to you.
Okay.
And then,
If it was in
oh,
there.
sorry. Judy just
Might have
opens
been
up
in
the
there.
book
Oh.
that has it in it.
Yeah. Councillor Earl has it there too.
She's so smart.
Me and Judy did our homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there was 148 event days used, and our target is based on like when we do our budget, we set up how many events we know are recurring, and then we try to gauge how many more we think we're going to get. So we don't have like a specific target per se,
Okay.
but just.
Okay, thank you. And then the 148 days, does that include the hockey? Because I feel like that's kind of what I was getting at, is just how many days, like, the facility
No,
is.
like the community ice and.
Yeah.
No, because these are tracked by like actual events that we bill out for or things like that. There's not like an event for a hockey
Yeah,
that
okay.
I would like put through the system. So we can get that information
No, I was
for
just
you. And
curious,
Judy
but it's
has-
probably got to be over 200 days, I would
Judy
think.
again
eh?
has some more information. Are these days?
Yes, those are hours, actually.
Oh, hours,
Or,
okay.
let's see, hours
hours
utilized.
utilized.
So we've got a breakdown of the, hours from private rentals, mile zero figure skating, the fossils, Kodiaks, minor hockey, and the
On page
northern hockey.
33.
Okay, excellent.
But I can get the days too
Yeah.
if you'd like.
No, that's fine. No, that's perfect. So I just wanted to highlight just the use of the facility and how much
Yeah.
it's being used in the community. So I didn't have any other questions. I do want to thank you both again for being here, but I also want to thank the team at the center, from every single person that works there, whether it's the ladies when you're walking in at the ticket booth, to the concession, to the maintenance team. Just everybody is always extremely professional and welcoming, and that's important. And when you're in the customer service industry, to really take things to the next level. And yeah, I've seen it for years since the facility's been open, that it's just always very welcoming. So I just please pass that on to everybody, and yeah, a thank you to all of them. Yeah, that's it. If there's no more questions, yeah.
Thanks for having
Okay.
us.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you very
welcome.
much.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. All right, next, 2.2, we have Daneka Hussey-Hughes, Executive Director, Monica Rogers, President, and Kalina Monroe, intern with the Dawson Creek and District Chamber of Commerce, in attendance regarding the request for grant to offset property taxes. So, thank you. Is this different than what was presented in the agenda?
I'm just giving that to you guys for background information.
Okay.
But the presentation is what we'll do in a minute.
Are we allowed to, do we have to? Okay, can I get a motion to accept this as later? Councillor McDonald, second Councillor Earl. Any discussion? I'll call this to vote. You want me to do it by hands? Just by hands, in favor? It's carried. Good morning, ladies, and welcome. The floor is all yours.
Hey. I have not done a presentation on your guys' system before, so do I just indicate for the next slide, or do we have a button?
I think there's a button.
Is it?
It's coming.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Ashton.
Oh, excellent. The worn out one. Okay, so good morning, Mayor and Council. My name is Daneka Hussey-Hughes. I'm the Executive Director of the Dawson Creek and District Chamber of Commerce. And with me today is our President of the Board, Monica Rogers. And we want to thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm here on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce to respectfully request Council's consideration of a grant in aid equal or in part to our 2026 property taxes. This support would help us stabilize our organization during a period of transition for us. Oh, which way do I aim it? Meh.
Oh,
Okay. So our request is pretty straightforward. The Chamber is seeking a grant and aid equal to the 2026 taxes owing on our premises at 904 102nd Avenue, totaling $9,768.86. This amount, as you know, is due on July 2nd, I believe. And during this transitional year, it represents a significant financial pressure for us. Support from Council would help offset that immediate burden while we continue strengthening our long-term sustainability, which is the ultimate goal. While the Chamber has paid taxes in previous years at this address, the impact has become increasingly difficult to absorb, and our 2026 represents the highest amount to date. We at the Chamber are continuing to take steps to strengthen long-term sustainability, but as that is not an instantaneous task, support would be greatly appreciated at this time. I'm going to give you the clicker. Okay. For an organizational overview, most of you are familiar with us, but we are the recognized voice of business in the Dawson Creek and surrounding areas. We encompass Puskupi as well, and we meet in the middle with Fort St. John Chamber, with the Chetwynd Chamber, and with other organizations like this. And we provide a multitude of services for our members and the greater community. Business advocacy is a large one. We represent local businesses' interests at municipal, provincial, and federal levels. Economic development support. We collaborate with partners to attract investment and strengthen the local economy. Programs, events, and training. We work with other organizations to deliver opportunities that support business growth and professional development. Community partnerships. We work with everybody who wants to work with us pretty much across the region to advance shared goals. And for networking and collaboration, we create spaces for businesses to connect, learn, and grow. Our mandate is simple: to strengthen the local economy and create an environment where businesses can thrive. So today we want to accomplish three things. First, we want to outline the financial impact that the property taxes would have on our organization. Second, we want to provide context to our ongoing financial recovery. And third, we want to request the Council's consideration of a grant in aid. Financially, we are currently operating with only $35,000 in our bank accounts for the rest of this year, some of which is already set aside for specific purposes. And while we are working diligently to increase our revenue, including upcoming events, we are projecting a potential deficit in our annual budget at this time. I want to stress that the Chamber is committed to transparency and accountability in presenting this information, and this request is made to ensure continuity of service to the business community. It is our intention to make this request only one time. So for property taxes, in years prior to my employment with the Chamber, we have owned two buildings. The one located at 10201 10th Street, which we sold 5 years ago, and we now reside at 904 102nd Ave. In the past 3 years, we have paid $26,612.71 in taxes at our current location, and we paid prior to those years at our previous property as well. While we understand there can be no retroactive exemption, we are asking for a grant and aid to offset this year's tax bill, and we do not intend to ask for such a grant each year. Over the past year, the Chamber has taken significant steps to strengthen our financial position. We developed a new strategic plan this January to guide our decision-making, updated our operating budget to severely reduce expenses, and began exploring new revenue opportunities and partnerships. These actions reflect our commitment to long-term sustainability. We also undertook an internal financial audit and implemented a series of cost-saving measures. These include reducing staff hours while maintaining our core services, lowering our telecommunications costs, and bringing bookkeeping functions in-house. We consolidated our bank accounts, eliminated redundant fees, tightened discretionary spending, deferred non-urgent maintenance, and reduced overlapping software and other subscriptions. We have also listed the Chamber building for sale to transition away from a high-cost asset and into a renting position. These decisions were not easy, but they were necessary to ensure responsible stewardship of our resources. As we view the next few slides, I'm going to go into some specific actions taken, but given the time constraints, I welcome any questions. So we dropped our fax line, our cell phone service, and many of our online services. We reduced our bookkeeping significantly. We reduced our bank fees by over $100 a month by getting rid of some of our non-essentials and switching to cheaper options. We have deferred some non-urgent maintenance by repairing rather than replacing things such as our roof. We have cut all online subscriptions, reduced number of email accounts, and done other things for operational costs. We are having a technical glitch with the clicker. And we have our chamber building up for sale, but as everybody in this community knows, that may take a bit of time. So future fiscal sustainability. In addition to reducing our expenses, we have been actively expanding our revenue streams. We redesigned the community awards budget with the help of the city to ensure full cost recovery, launching a new chamber golf tournament this year, and we restructured the Haunted Village to ensure that it has sustainability and can cover the cost of wages as well. We have applied for event-specific grants for all of our events to ensure that they are cost recovering, expanded our membership outreach, strengthened membership value, and increased non-dues revenue through partnerships such as our HR Covered and the Chamber Plan, as well as some that we are working on in the future. We are finalizing a travel agency partnership, expanding our networking events, enhanced our sponsorship strategies, and developed long-term financial planning tools. We are also building new community partnerships, including a monthly newsletter, a business workshop series, a youth entrepreneurship program, and we are talking about other things such as perhaps doing a printed business directory. These initiatives demonstrate our commitment to building a stable, diversified financial foundation. So for some specifics, our membership went from 140 in 2025 to we have hit 175 as of today and counting. We have improved some of our partnerships to increase non-dues revenue alongside increasing our membership. And I'm going to continue on. So challenges and impact, why we're in the position we are in right now to be asking this. Like many organizations, the Chamber experienced significant strain during and after the pandemic, but we kept our doors open and kept supporting businesses during that time. We faced event cancellations, reduced sponsorship, membership declines, increased operational costs, and the loss of anticipated revenue streams. As events were canceled, they were hard to bring back online once everything opened back up, particularly the networking series. During the pandemic, members often did not renew their memberships, leading to a decline in membership revenue and membership interaction, which we have worked hard in the past year to rectify. At the same time, the economy has made things more expensive, we all know this, and all events have increased costs, particularly for the meal portion. All of these things have made the Chamber struggle to return to the previous level of service, which became increasingly apparent as time has gone on. Despite these challenges, we continue to serve the business community, and we are now working diligently towards long-term sustainability. Our network is broad and impactful. We currently have 175 members. This represents over 2,000 people who are employed with our members, and we connect with more than 7,500 individuals through our extended network. That doesn't account for our even broader network with the BC Chamber or the Canadian Chamber, which is thousands upon thousands of businesses. We advocate on issues affecting local business, promote Dawson Creek as a place to invest and grow, support entrepreneurs, and collaborate with regional partners. The more we grow and connect people, the better it is for our local economy and the businesses here. Our value to the city of Dawson Creek is a healthy business community that supports your long-term goals. It strengthens the tax base, attracts investment, supports local employment, and contributes to vibrant commercial districts and community services. Supporting the Chamber supports the economic health of Dawson Creek. We are on the path to fiscal sustainability. We are actively implementing measures to ensure long-term stability, membership growth initiatives, updated financial policies, diversified revenue strategies, strengthened governance, and operational efficiencies. We are not asking for ongoing support. We know that is not feasible, and we wouldn't want to tax you with that. But we only ask for assistance during this transitional period as we complete our recovery and get all of our programs back online so that we can be financially sustainable. Receiving the support will offset the immediate financial burden that we are seeing with the taxes, allow the Chamber to maintain essential services, support our ongoing financial recovery, enable the Chamber to continue contributing to the community and economic development opportunities, and strengthen the Chamber's ability to serve as a long-term partner to the city. Receiving this would offset so many things and help us be able to focus on long-term sustainability and on supporting our own community. With this support, we can continue our rebuild and ensure the Chamber remains a reliable long-term partner. So I would like to take the moment to thank you, Mayor and Council, for your time and consideration of this matter. We appreciate the opportunity to present today, and we remain committed to working collaboratively with the city to support a thriving business community. And we are happy to answer any questions that you have.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for the presentation. I'll open it up to council first here. Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Worship, and thank you to our delegation. So, a couple questions just for follow-up and some thoughts. So the grant in lieu of taxes you're asking for are for the taxes 2026, the ones due next month?
Yeah, the ones that are due right away. We already paid last year's, obviously.
Yeah, I just, and obviously, similarly, I guess that would preclude an application for a permissive property tax exemption, as that would be in years following this one.
Yeah, we would have had to apply last year, unfortunately.
Okay. Are you making any similar outreaches to the regional district in Pushkupi? Given that you
I
are
have a
regional
meeting.
in nature?
I have a meeting with Pusukupi coming up regarding a mixer that they are doing where we intend to discuss it. And I reached out to Peace River Regional District, but they have not responded as of yet. But the hope is to also ask them, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the presentation, and it's good to see you guys. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, obviously. I mean, it's a challenge because, and for some context, I was at the Chamber of Commerce AGM at the golf course the year the Landmark building was sold. Mm-hmm. And at that point, looking at the financials, you could see that the organization was going to be financing its operations with the equity in that building. And
That
was
predates us.
Yeah, it predates both of you.
Yes.
But, we're here discussing the institution as well as, so that's the challenge is, and I'm sure, as you said, inflation and COVID exacerbates those challenges. But your predecessors probably should have foreseen this. I don't want to jump. There's no one person, but it's frustrating in that sense. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what the lease situation is with the existing building, but if you're trying to sell that, it's not going to be something you're going to be relying on in the long term anyway, presumably.
You mean like for the income from the leases?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it has never broken even.
Yeah.
We have had usually about a 1/3 vacancy rate. So there are 9 offices, as most of you are aware, and we've had anywhere from 2 to 3 vacant. And so when you look at it year to year, it has been a deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
one of the big factors in us selling it. Because even if all the offices are rented out, the age of the building is a consideration. There will
Yeah.
be maintenance costs that
Maintenance,
will...
insurance,
We all
all
know
that
how
stuff.
that works.
Yeah. No, I can appreciate that. Okay, so, my main thing was to confirm it was, in fact, for the property taxes due next month, and that's a challenge on our end because it's kind of outside of budget for, you know what I mean? But we can discuss that later. But yeah, I just wanted to see what the situation was with permissive, and then just gauge whether you talked to the RD or POOS and what your feel from them was too. So, thank you.
I'd just like to contribute. We would have applied for the permissive tax exemption last year, but we were going through a lot of challenges this time last year with staff turnover, etc. So we missed the deadline. Otherwise, we would have applied last year, and we will apply this year for next year for the assistance. So
Okay. All right, that's all I have for now. If anybody wants to.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other questions? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. If you guys were to receive this grant, how long is that going to extend you guys for survivability, in all honesty? Could you read this? I'm so sorry I cut you off, Monica, but this is pretty doomed to stay, right? You guys are in a very, very tough state. I appreciate all the efforts you guys have made in the last 6-9 months to really look within to cost cut et cetera. But what's your true date?
Honestly, if we can get this assistance and assuming we can sell the building, with the way that we have structured things for the future, I think we can continue indefinitely. I don't see a problem with that. There was some issues in the past with the way things have been managed that we've really looked into and changed.
Yeah.
Yes, with the aid for the taxes and then assuming we can also sell the building, I don't see an issue with us continuing.
The true make or break is going to be the building, though?
Yes, and we do have some ongoing conversations with people. Like, I don't see the sale of the building being an issue. I do think we will have sold the building in the next few months.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any other questions? Maybe for some clarification, I was just trying to read through these numbers, so I appreciate you bringing them in this morning. Am I reading this right? The building is worth $445,000 and there's $140,000 owed on it?
We purchased it for $445,000. So in our balance statement, it will show it that, but realistically, we purchased it over what the current value would be. If we were to sell it today, it would probably be around $350,000 that it would be sold for.
So there's still some equity there.
Yeah, so it would definitely give us a nest egg for our finances to help build all of the things that will help pay for everything.
And then you have $38,000 tied up in a GIC?
It's no longer in the GIC, it's now in our checking, but it was 100 days, so we can access it at any time.
Okay. What happens if we're unable to assist you?
I work really hard at the golf tournament. We have a golf tournament coming up that is designed to be a fundraising event. We have a couple of other events in the fall that will be coming up. We have reached out to some sponsors as well to see if they would do some contributions to the golf tournament and other events. But the goal is that this would limp us through, so to speak, to all of those things, because obviously programs are not instantaneous to bring online, but they are, as anybody knows, a youth entrepreneurship program has a lot of sponsorship behind it, that sort of thing. So our goal is to have enough programming that we are able to be financially feasible, not just based on membership dues, based on a little bit of everything together.
Okay. I appreciate you coming in and like Councillor Earl said, it's unfortunate that it's under these circumstances, but I do appreciate you coming in and being transparent with us. And, it's tough from this side too, right? Because there's a lot of phenomenal organizations in our community that give back and contribute to the city and how it operates and how great it is. And a lot are facing similar pressures, right? So when we have these decisions, we have to make them based on that, if this is something we do, whether it's this or something else, that it's the whole community contributing to that, right? And if that works for the community. So definitely appreciate you coming in here. And later on under Mayor's updates, we'll deal with the request. And if there's no other, Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. Sorry, I just had an afterthought. You're doing the golf tournament. You're doing other things. You've rebudgeted for the community awards. Other chambers do luncheons. Do you guys have plans for luncheons in the future, sponsored luncheons? And I know the offer with the city's always there as well, right, to help with the luncheons? Or I didn't see that in the planning, so I was just curious.
Yes, we do have plans to do luncheons. Unfortunately, luncheons aren't big money makers.
No.
So while they will help, like operationally and with networking and stuff, while we plan to do them, because they aren't big money makers, they won't obviously help towards the financial goals as much. So we do plan to do them. They're just not so much designed to help with the financial goals of the organisation.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any other questions? No.
Your Worship, just quick clarification. Do you rent space in the building? Just looking at at your income there.
Do we rent it out? Yes. Okay. We utilize one office and then the other ones are for rent. And at this time, of the 8 that are for rent, 6 have been rented out for the month of July.
Okay, thank you.
We did also go through a period where we couldn't rent one of the offices because someone drove into the building. So we had that loss for a while as well. We've hit a few unfortunate obstacles over the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, well, thank you very much for coming in and, yeah, well, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, next we have Alex Reschny, President, and Joe Hauber, Vice President of the South Peace Mile Zero Park Society, in attendance regarding an update on playground finances and safety. Morning, gentlemen.
Get the technology away,
Yeah.
it says.
I'm allergic to that.
Yeah. Alex, could you just push your button on the mic there?
Perfect. Good morning. There, the floor is officially now yours.
Thank you, Your Worship, Mayor Dober, councillors and city staff. It's great to be here, and thanks for all the support and things that we've had in the past year and years. We're basically here to update you on where we are with the Challenge Fitness Playground. The playground will cost approximately $750,000. This is with a 25% contingency fund. MOPS would be, or Mile Zero Park Society would be responsible for the total site preparation, cleanup, landscaping upon completion, all proper signage, and a chain link fence on all four sides now. The playground is approximately 6,500 square feet with a max fall height of 137 inches or 11 feet 5 inches, which is about 4 inches less than the fall height of the new playground. I just measured it this morning.
Of course you would have been out there this morning measuring that.
What can I say?
And we were only there to take pictures of that.
The playground size is 49 feet by 133 feet, so roughly 380 feet of 6 foot high chain link fencing. This is with all CSA approved equipment, meeting all the latest requirements. It would have a port in place rubber matting with concrete curbing around the outside, and the rubber matting, the depth changes according to the fall height of the obstacle that's out there. So there's 15 fitness challenges, from an extreme A-frame cargo net, extreme ledge hanger, to an extreme rope climbing. Before we went any further, we wanted to check out insurance requirements, and did we need a man on the site when it opened, or any other requirements. And this has been about a 6-month project to find out the answers for it. This is where we found out that it had to be fenced and locked with no staff on the MOPS grounds, like whether it's in the RV site, Pioneer Village, or over there on that ground. That had to be periodically checked, which means about every 2 hours, just go over and check it, which we have to do with the pump track anyway, just to make sure everything's operating. It would need a separate insurance from the pump tracks, separate from the rest of the Rotary Recreation Park. 3 insurance policies for the park from different suppliers, all through Peace Insurance. It was suggested that the city cover the insurance for the whole recreation park through municipal insurance, and we have been, or Rob McDonald has been in touch with Michelle here to just check out what that would entail. As the city does all the other city parks. The city has been reimbursing Mile Zero Park Society for the insurance annually, but it would be much more cost effective if the city acquired the insurance needed for the total recreation park. The city did look after the insurance a number of years ago when MOPS couldn't acquire insurance due to the BMX track still being on the property. The other thing we did learn was that anyone using the playground would need to sign or have signed by a parent or guardian if they're under 19 as a waiver form, and it'd be an annual waiver form. It's not every use. Just annually sign it, which we would keep track of electronically. Our staff would do have to periodically, approximately every 2 hours, go and check to make sure everyone is using it and that the waiver had been on file with us. The plan is to have a sign on the fence gate with the QR code, so it'd be easy to sign the waiver form electronically. And really, that is where we were at. Like, we haven't went any further, haven't looked for funding, which once we get the city agreement that we can proceed, then we will start trying to fund the operation and see if we can build it in the off-season. At the end of a season, we're finding out that anything that happens early in the season is frustrating to the community, so if we can build it towards the end of the season, complete it with landscaping, it takes the frustration out of the community. Everybody wants to get out there in spring because we only have so many days. Towards the end, they're more basically concerned with us getting another project, so. Any questions?
Perfect. Thanks, Alex. Thank you, Joe. I'll open it up. Councillor Earl.
Thank you both for the update, and as always, it's good to see you, and we appreciate the work you're doing. So just hearing your report on the insurance and waiver requirements is pretty surprising, I guess. Essentially, you need but you need a waiver for what is effectively a public park or a public playground.
We have to have a waiver for a public RV site. Anybody that registers there has to sign a waiver that we're not liable for them.
Yeah, you don't need one for the pump track?
Nope.
Does that not seem counterintuitive? I'm not arguing. I believe what you're saying. It just
we were as shocked as you are.
is it just the nature of this particular park makes it, because it's more kind of geared towards an athletic kind of circuit that, as opposed to, I guess, slides and monkey bars. But yeah, it struck me as odd that that's where they draw the line of the various public amenities available to people.
Looking more to me like it's dealing with insurance companies, and there's no rhyme or reason to what they do sometimes.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And we're not sure that through the municipal insurance that the same rules would apply. It's just that Peace Insurance has went to two different people that would insure it, and both kind of came back with the same thing. And I would say that in 2 years, 3 years, don't be surprised if we have to do the same with the pump track, because insurance does weird things.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was just the first time I'd seen, I think.
Me too.
I understand if you're charging for a service, like if your kid goes to like a trampoline facility or whatever, or one of those play areas, and it's a business, but that's the first I've heard for a public park. And I appreciate the drawings and concept art provided. I guess our staff had a chance to provide feedback on that as of yet? Or is this the first they're seeing of it as well?
Well, this is probably the second time that we've presented it as part of another presentation, but the drawings have been here, and I do have drawings of the 15 different features that are actually out there, which I should have had here on display, but didn't really look at it till yesterday.
All right. So is there an ask today? Just you're looking for, I guess, a green light to move forward with the project?
Yeah, basically a green light. And is there any financial assistance that we could be looking at to start the process before we start going to other outfits to do it? I know MOPS is kind of committed to doing a lot of the prep work of the grounds and trying to find somebody to do the fencing and stuff like that.
So that would be probably referring it to the capital for next year's budget then. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's the extent of my questions. Thank you both again. Good to see you.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other questions? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I think it's no secret I'm very excited about this. I see how many children are always using our exercise park. Never mind something like this. I think it would be very popular in the community. Money from the city, would there be a specific amount that would help you qualify for grants? I know quite often they need you to have a specific amount already before you can qualify for other grants. Have you looked into that at all yet, Alex?
I have not looked into it, but there is a number of grants right down to federated co-op, like for towards playgrounds. There's probably, that's one of the categories that has the most grants available. They're just not huge grants.
Right. Lots of small ones.
Yeah, and we can't go to NDIT for another 2 years because we just got our final payment on
That was my next question, is when you qualified for NDIT again?
2 years.
Be 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay. You answered most of my my questions in your report. I'd just like to say this project excites me, and I'd truly like to see us be able to get behind it. So, well done.
If anybody wants to see it, it is staked out there. There's 4 stakes with yellow ribbons, unless somebody took one out, but I pounded them in fairly good the last time. So. But it is staked out, and it's a lot bigger than we ever anticipated it to be once we measured it, so.
Yeah, seen it over there. Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl?
Sorry, thank you, Your Worship. I just have one quick follow-up. Last time you were in, I recall part of your presentation included conveying to us the need to upgrade some of the campsites for various reasons in order to has that work underway?
Well, we did the first conversion of one that there was 3 pull-throughs, and then there was a skip of one, and then 2 more pull-throughs, and I don't like to reveal what that one cost us. Was just over $9,000 to convert that one. But the rest would not be, because of the significance of the dig and stuff. The road that goes around the back of it should be probably a foot higher. And it'll come to a presentation this fall when we get through it. We've probably spent, I'm going to say, close to $50,000 already upgrading it, just to even make it usable. Silly things like there was no signage on our electrical panels saying where the breakers were. There are 2 breakers that in 2 different locations that said the same site, so that's going to cost us $3,000 just to get it all labeled and tracked. And we're going to finish the electrical mapping too. We did about half last year. We will do the other half yet this year.
Okay. Cool, thank you.
And we did 14 sites with sewer. We got 14 to do with 50 amp increases.
Nice.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor Apollonio?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just saying thank you for delegation. Of course, nice to see you, Alex, and of course, Mr. Joe. Thank you very much for the hard work for this presentation. I just want, first of all, thank you very much for the pump track. I was there yesterday, but not. I didn't use it. Okay, just show to my friends how to use it. But maybe they will use it in the future. Is this presentation will be also presented to the PRRD?
It will be, for sure.
Okay.
And to Saddle Hills.
Okay. Thank you.
We do track vehicles. There's 4 out of every 10 are Alberta plates, and 3 of those are probably Albertans. One is it's a fugitive living in BC. So there's probably 3 out of every 10 that is also, rural. So we've been tracking it for the last 2 years and just trying to kind of get ideas of who is using the pump track, the playgrounds.
Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. You didn't ride the pump track?
Yeah, you didn't.
No?
There's a junior one.
Yeah. Do we need to get you a scooter?
Yeah, right.
I just only asked Alex a while ago because one of the athletics team, I think in Dawson Creek, wants like a running course. I'm not sure. So I said to them, try reaching out to the MOPS. Maybe they could provide you like those information, like the running, because they want to run in the Ovintiv, but I think they want the feel of the environment. So, and I suggested to them try the MOPS. That's why I went there and showed it to them, and maybe they could use it around the truck. So yeah.
It's open to the public, and anybody can use it. And once we get this playground built, we hope to finish the tracks on the whole paved track on that side of the creek.
Perfect. Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. I don't have any questions, Alex. I think when I was over there the other day, we had a discussion about most of this that was you talked about today. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank both of you for not just being here to present today, but for all that you do down at the Mile Zero Park Society. I've been to a few of your meetings and heard your volunteer hours, so I know it's a contest to see who can put the most hours in. But yeah, I don't know. It is people like you and your organizations that make this community the place it is. How much time you give and effort, and yeah, just volunteer your time to enhance the community, but for our youth and for our families. And you see that facility being used and how many people are out there, and that's what makes a better community. So that stuff doesn't happen without how much time you guys give. And I know you don't like to hear it, but yeah, just thank you. Thank you to both of you and the whole board and everybody that helps down there. It's yeah, it's truly a community, a great community place, and it's nice to see some life down there after it, you know, being a lake for so many years and something that this community's, you know, missed and longed for. So it's nice to see a shift and a change, and to see the use, right? It's often you drive by there and there's 30 plus people out there, and it just brings community together. And yeah, just can't thank you guys enough for what you do. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Opening day, there was no less than 25 lined up at the starting line, just about constantly for about 5 hours.
Yeah. Nice.
Plus about 25 riding it, so.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All great except for the grand opening.
Yeah.
It was a
Poor
little.
attendance.
Yeah. You should choose not to do that in winter next time.
We'd probably have a sunny day if we did it in winter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for the support that you've given
Yeah.
to us out there to make things happen, so
Yeah.
greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys. Have a great day. All right, next order of business, 2026 strategic priorities. I don't think there's any updates, anything from you, Kevin? Anything from council? No? All right. Any late items? No. Any new councillor business? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. Excuse me. So I had the pleasure of going and attending the Federation of Canadian Municipalities annual AGM and trade show on behalf of Mayor and Council. I did give a report. I apologize. It came in late, so it did not make our agenda. But just to nail off some of the highlights, there was what an amazing opportunity to study and learn and just get some great insights into what other municipalities are doing across the country, and just how similar the issues faced in rural Newfoundland compared to rural northern BC. Across the country, we're all facing the same issues, whether it's infrastructure for water and sewer, it is immigration issues, just all across the board. Very, very similar. Got to see some great plenary sessions on ECDEV. Would love to discuss with anybody if anybody has any questions based on my report. I just wanted to thank the FCM and their board of directors for putting on just a great event. It was truly, truly enjoyable to attend. Also just wanted to congratulate the District of Chetwynd on their annual chainsaw carving competition this weekend. Very well attended. It was the 20th anniversary, so it was the Return of Champions competition. What a gem that is in our region. Honestly, the amount of people brought in just to see those carvings in our region is a benefit to us all. So just wanted to wish them some great congratulations on another great event. I don't know how they do it every year to have such great weather, but man, was it hot yesterday, and just beautiful, honestly beautiful. So congratulations to all the artists, the volunteers, the sponsors, everyone, and the district. It was a great, great event.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Thanks for attending FCM as well and for the report.
My pleasure. It was a great.
Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to note for my colleagues that last week I had the opportunity to sit down with Correspondent Amanda Follett-Hosgood from the Tyee, she's a reporter. She's on a special assignment in northern BC, going through the rural region, and she's looking to, she's doing, a study of the impact of the decline in local media sources in the region, and we had a good conversation. Obviously, I think we've all seen a decline in local journalism and in daily papers over the last 10, 15 years in particular. And we know the impact that's had and how we as a municipality have had to respond by building out our own communications apparatus as in trying to offset that information deficit. So it was a very good conversation, and while it was kind of a bleak subject to talk about, it did certainly make me appreciate what we do still have and the good work being done by those folks. And in that vein, I wanted to commend Michael at CJDC, who's there was a dangerous offender apprehended in our community last week who'd been let out on bail repeatedly despite escalating violent behavior. And Michael did a very compelling report and showed up with the receipts of the various time the courts had let this person go despite their disregard for court orders. And I see this morning that the person has been remanded to custody in Prince George. So I don't want to get into too many specifics because we're on the political side of things, but very much appreciate Michael and doing what he can with the resources available to him to keep the courts accountable. More so than I think a lot of other levels of government seem interested in doing. But that just conversation I had with Amanda certainly put my mind to as frustrating as it is that we've lost a lot of the coverage we once took for granted. We do still have some people doing some very good work, and I think Michael's work in this regard has been exemplary. So kudos to him.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor Apollonio.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just reporting. So the last meeting for the public library was last May. So no meeting this June, and the meeting will resume on September. And of course, so far I haven't received any meeting from the South Peace Historical Society. I don't know why. And of course, last June 8th, I attended virtual meeting, the information session for the Looking West. I think that's initiative for that portion of the of BC, like going west and northeast. And of course, this afternoon, you're invited if the weather cooperates for the flag raising ceremony. And if not, maybe I will just ask some here to come and then just to do some activities.
Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. I brought my raincoat. Any other new councillor business? All right, next 6, adoption of minutes. 6.1, minutes of regular meeting of council held on May 25th, 2026 for adoption. Councillor Earl, Councillor Kempf, call that to vote. Vote is closed and that's carried. Any business arising? No. All right, next 8, correspondence. 8.1, we have a letter from Mark Karjaluoto, Chair of Blood Counts Plasma for Northern BC, May 19th, 2026, request for support for a blood plasma donor center in Northern BC. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move that we offer a letter of support.
Second, Councillor Sudnick, discussion. I'll call, Councillor Earl.
I mean, this is an interesting subject. I lived in Prince George for 3 years in high school and did donate blood through the donation center they had there at the time. I wasn't aware that it had closed. And once again, so what I'm curious about is, in this day and age, why does it require a dedicated center? Could they not contract that service out to a lab? If, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to learn more, and I do think it's something we should advocate for because, I mean, I'm cognizant of the economies of scale being what they are. If you're requiring a dedicated center with dedicated nursing staff dedicated to this explicit exact function, I could see how at a certain point financially it might not make sense. But I also, based on this, once again, is there a reason why Life Labs can't have a contracted room set to, so I'd be interested in the conversation. I think this is a good first step, but I think there's probably a bigger conversation here about whether this is genuinely unfeasible or it's just unfeasible given the existing bureaucracy that is currently the status quo in our healthcare sector.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? Call this to vote. Vote is closed and it's carried. We'll just take a quick break here. Howard, Moto rides received on May 25th, 2026 regarding Cross Canada Journey supporting SickKids Foundation. Councillor Sudnick?
Thank you, Worship. I'll just move we receive for information.
Thanks, Councillor Sudnick. Second, Councillor McDonald. Any discussion on receiving for information? No discussion. I actually will probably vote against it. I think there's some merit in having some support. Not asking for a lot here, and they're going to be coming through this region and have a lot of our neighboring communities recognized. So I see some value in being on that. Councillor Earl.
So to be clear, the ask is simply to have communication staff share it through social media and highlight the initiative.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing the ask is.
And it's June 3rd through July 19th. So he's already a week and a half into this.
Yeah, probably be here later though.
Okay.
Leaving Ontario June 2nd.
I see Melissa isn't here. I don't imagine a couple extra posts are going to appreciably mess with her week. Okay.
Call and tell her, come on, man.
Try and be cognizant of her workload. But okay, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? No, I'll call this motion to vote. It's closed. It didn't flash. It's defeated. Councillor Apollonio, Councillor Earl, Councillor Kempf, Councillor McDonald.
You voted in favor of it?
I didn't put yes, no. Anyways, it's,
I didn't vote again. That guy's so lazy.
yeah. I wasn't going to publicly comment on that, but anyways, it's defeated, so. Anybody like to make another motion? Councillor Earl?
I'll move we refer to communications to grant the request to the extent they deem appropriate.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Second, Councillor McDonald. Discussion. I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed, and it's carried. Next, 8.3, we have a letter from Toby, Louie, Superintendent of Motor Vehicles, Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General on June 2nd, received on June 2nd, 2026, regarding an invitation to participate in the BC Road Safety Strategy 2030 engagement session. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move that we receive for discussion.
Second, Councillor Kempf. Call this to vote. Vote is closed, and it's carried. Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Yeah, through your worship to staff. Is this something that staff would like to take part of in regards to road safety in our region and in and around the community?
Through your worship, the reason we put it on the agenda is we wanted to make sure council had the opportunity if they wanted to be involved. It was a bit unclear to us in the ask whether it was staff or council or both, and I think honestly it could be both. But we're aware of council's concerns with road safety in the area, up to and including, there's been lots of discussion around the Peace Bridge and Taylor Bridge and whatnot. So we just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity. If council doesn't want to attend, but they want staff to, we'll make sure somebody does.
Personally, unfortunately, with grad weekend, I would not be able to attend, but I think it's something that we should definitely consider if we have a council member who is available to attend. And but I think it should be staff and a council member to bring our concerns forward. So I would make a motion that we have. Oh, sorry.
Before you make a motion, is there any other discussion? No? Okay, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Councillor Earl.
I guess, thank you, Worship. Through you to staff, have any staff members participated in, is this an annual engagement opportunity, and have you participated in it before? No? Devin's saying no. I'm assuming he's the one who gets stuck with this. So is this a new one? I'm all for favor of council having a presence. I'd have to check my schedule to see if I'd be available on the Friday afternoon, but I'm also kind of jaded at this point in my tenure on local government that these information and feedback sessions are sometimes just a one-way conversation with people telling you in vague terms what they're going to do. But yeah, no, I think if it's an opportunity to get in front of the ministry, we should take it. Sorry, Your Worship, you were going to make a motion?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we're open for discussion.
Okay,
so
yeah,
no,
I'll turn it back over to Councillor McDonald if he wants to make a motion, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thanks, Councillor. Was there any other discussion on receiving it? No? Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I'd make a motion that we have staff and the opportunity to have a council member, if available, attend and bring our concerns forward to the Road Safety 2030 workshop.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Kemp. Any discussion? Any councillors that are available?
I'll have to check my calendar.
Okay. Yeah, I got grad. Yeah, same, so. No, okay.
I'll let you know. Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, Councillor Parslow
Yeah.
and Councillor Earl will let us know. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead.
Just
Kevin.
Your Worship, is there anything specific that council would like us to bring forward?
Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I think the mayor has pursued 4-laning from the border to Fort St. John. I think that is a good piece of safety that they need to reconsider. I know it's been a concern in this region for a long time, well over a decade, that road needs to be twinned the whole way. Honestly, with all our heavy truck traffic. I would also bring up the need for a crosswalk across from the Mile Zero Park to the other side, right? And just more attention to that again, just locally here. Those would be local concerns that I think would be very appropriate to bring up. I don't know if anybody else has anything else.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl?
Yeah, just echo those sentiments on the provincial highways that go through town, specifically 8th Street. There are a couple crosswalks that are increasingly, I think, along the college and maybe the one up towards Canadian Tire that goes across that need much better visibility and controls because there's a lot of people who it's not well marked out, and there's a lot of people who are trying to cross the street under some less than ideal conditions. So Those would be top of my head. As Kevin noted, Taylor Bridge is going to be an ongoing source of concern, and I'd echo that. But yeah, that would be, I think, my main concern, as I guess my capacity as a municipal person, is the highways going through town need a bit more in the way of controls to ensure safety of the pedestrians in particular.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor Apollonio?
Thank you, Your Worship. For me, I think like if they could provide like a security camera on the highways, for example, if needed. So.
Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. Any other comments? As for myself, Kevin, would just be, what has been said, but the other would be adding just the 15th and 17th Street crossing, how many accidents there. We've been advocating for a while for their camera program that they offer, just to try to assist. But I think when they sent us the last letter that the numbers of accidents aren't at their threshold, it's because we don't get the traffic that they're used to seeing maybe in the south. But we see that living here, how dangerous those two intersections are and coming in. So those would be, something too. Anything else?
Should be a percentage.
Yeah.
Ratio. Right?
Yeah.
Accident vehicles.
Same with crosswalks. We got that letter response on that crosswalk at Mile Zero Park. So, actually, and then Kevin too on whoever is going on the Mile Zero Parks. When I was there on the grand opening, they were talking about that it's almost daily that somebody has to lock their brakes up. And while we were there, a big tanker truck had to lock their brakes up because somebody was crossing. So it just shows that it's just, it's unfortunate like that it's, just a matter of time, but it would be nice to be proactive on some of these things.
And we've had some discussions following that one meeting we had with Ministry of Transportation, and I don't know if Devin or Ryan can remind me, there was a specific discussion about the crosswalk at Tubby's and Mile Zero Park. Are they looking at some adjustment? That one. So okay. So
They
at this
deem that
point,
one
they
being
don't
fine.
look to do any upgrades of that. So yeah, we need to advocate if we want to see anything change at this. The challenge that we've seen over the years is that, and you spoke to it, is that they don't meet thresholds. They don't meet the warrant, is what they call it, is whether it's a certain amount of traffic or a certain amount of pedestrians or a certain speed limit, or there's a number of things, and they just, those thresholds, if they're not met, they don't, from an engineering perspective, they don't make the changes. So.
What happens if we just do it?
Well, we asked that question because we had talked about a signal, the signal ahead sign on Alaska as you're coming into town, because a lot of trucks, especially in the winter, have trouble stopping at 17th and Alaska because it's slippery. The light turns yellow, and they end up going through and sometimes on a red. So we asked about that, and we said, well, what if we were willing to do it? And they said, no, we won't allow you to do it.
Yeah. Thank you. Councillor Earl.
Just follow up with respect to the threshold, and this might be better posed to Devin, but is that threshold based on all provincial highways, or is that specific to provincial highways that are going through a municipality?
I don't know specifically, but based on conversations I've had with the province, I suspect it's a consistent one across the province. They don't tend to have regionalized engineering specifics.
Well, and I'm not
per se.
necessarily regionalized, but if you've got provincial highways going transecting a municipal area, you're going to have a lot more red lights and a lot more pedestrians than a provincial highway that doesn't have that. And if you're basing an average, or what is the acceptable level, what is the threshold on all provincial highways across the board versus these ones going through municipality, that's obviously going to skew it to it. So that was
something we can follow up and see if there is a
because I mean, it seems, and then to say, I mean, even if we were willing to go out of pocket and pay for it, which we shouldn't have to do, but in the interest of public safety, we might one day be willing to not be willing to entertain that seems needlessly. Well, I mean, and we understand how precedent works in government, and if you offer that for one person, every municipality that wants to do something along their highway corridor might come out of the woodworks, but you think public safety would garner a bit more consideration?
They are relying on engineering principles and trying to avoid political intervention. And I understand that.
Yeah.
And so the question becomes are the engineering standards for that, does that need to be revisited? I don't know
that's
that.
what I'm kind of gauging is the threshold they've set based on all highways or just the ones going through municipalities? Because I'd imagine if you look at the municipalities with similar layout as ours, where you've got them transected by highways, you find a much higher proportion of need than the highway between Vernon and Kamloops.
Yeah. No, it's something we can certainly look into.
Thank you, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? We'll call this motion to vote. The vote is closed. Well, it flashed. I already called it to vote. Do I need to call it again? Okay, I'll call this to vote. Vote is closed, and it's carried. Yeah, I have it now, Janice, thank you. Next, 8.4, we have a letter from Carmen Parslow, Secretary, Dawson Creek Seals Swim Club, received on June 5th, 2026, regarding a request for grant for 2026 events. So before I open this up, do we know what our grant budget's at? Go ahead, Melissa.
Through your worship, remaining is $4,961.
Okay, thank you.
It was up slightly from maybe a last report, just if anyone remembers, because we got the actual amount of swim passes used in a previous event, which lowered. So that's the amount available.
Thank you. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to make a motion that we do a grant of $1,000 for the SEAL Swim Club.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. I have a second. Councillor Kemp, discussion.
Such an amazing club. They host a wonderful swim meet annually that brings in a large contingent of people into this community and just another great youth club in this community.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Other discussion? Councillor Earl?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just through you to staff, have we provided a grant for this particular event in the past? I'm guessing, given the nature of it, we don't provide swim passes.
We've given in the past. We've granted $500.
Through your worship, I think in the past was it the camping that we had done? And Melissa, go ahead.
Through your worship to Councillor Earl, Kevin is correct. We have done the camping fees in 2024 and 2025, which was $500.
Okay. And this year there wouldn't be fees because we revised that, did we not? Okay. That's correct.
So it'd be going
So this
from
is
$500
$1,000 in new sponsorship effectively. Or grant, pardon me.
Yeah, in years previous, the previous 2 years, we granted $500 to offset the camping.
Would that
But that's been
$500
changed.
have come out of our grant budget, or is it just foregone revenue?
It would have had to come from somewhere because it
Okay.
would have been in the fees and charges, so we would have had to have a grant.
So it's $500 new grant money?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? I guess myself, just thinking about this, knowing that I knew that it was 500 the last couple of years, just going to 1,000, and being our budget's at 4,900 and it's June. I appreciate what Councillor McDonald said about the club and organization, and I share the exact same feelings. They're a phenomenal organization. But I'm a little bit hesitant on doing 1,000. I'd be more comfortable at 500, just giving the time of year and that we're already halfway through our budget, but it's just my thoughts, so I thought I would share that. Any other discussion? No? Okay, I'll call this motion to vote. Vote Vote is closed. It's carried, 2 opposed, Councillor Apollonio and myself. All right. Next, we have 8.5, letter from Cole Norman, Secretary, Mile Zero Flying Club, received on June 5th, 2026, regarding a request for discounted 100 LL Avgas rate, Mile Zero Flying Club fly in barbecue on June 19th, 2026. Kevin, did you want to just cover a little bit what this looks like before there's a lot of questions? So.
Yeah, for sure. Through your worship, I did have a chance to chat with Mr. Norman last week just to clarify a couple of things. You know, they're trying to build up the flying club here, and so they're having this fly-in. And of course, they would like to ensure everybody fuels up here in Dawson Creek. So, you know, the request is there a way to incentivize it a little bit to do that? I asked him, you know, could he quantify what are we talking about here? He said, it's a bit of a guess, but, you know, if the weather's good and best case scenario, you know, you maybe have 15 planes come in and, you know, and I said, well, how much would they take? And he said, well, maybe on average they, you know, take 100 liters if, you know, top up of fuel. So, you know, you're talking 1,500 liters maybe on the outside, and depending on a cents per liter, if council did want to grant that, so 10 cents would be $150, you know, $150 grant. So it just depends on what council wants to do, if anything, but just trying to quantify it so we could see what that would look like.
Okay. I could see giving like up to $500 maybe out of the ECDEV fund for this. I mean, it's pretty economic development related to the airport, and give up to, I don't know if council is okay with that, but Councillor Earl?
Yeah, just a follow-up question through to staff. Historically, I recall a time when it was pretty well understood that we had the least expensive gas out of all the regional airports. And part of that was the strategy to entice pilots to land here and fuel up. Have we kind of stepped back from trying to do that? Or is this, I mean, from what I understand, you know, fuel generates a lot of revenue, but it was never huge profit margins from the best of my understanding, because it was always seen as kind of a loss leader to entice pilots to come here. So I'm just wondering, is it normal that Fort St. John's cheaper than us now, or is it just kind of how the market works when we bought the fuel, what the price is to recover the costs at this time?
Yeah. So through your worship, I don't recall when that may have changed. I know right now in our fees and charges it's established that it's cost plus 40 cents, I believe, if I remember correctly. So we are selling it at a profit, and fuel sales definitely does help offset our expenses at the airport, especially these last few summers when we had BC Wildfire operating out of there, and we had a lot of helicopters in and out, and so that fuel sales certainly does help. It seems to me, I remember looking at a report probably going back maybe 4 or 5 years ago when they did a bit of a fuel comparison around the region, and maybe that's when it was.
Yeah, around the WestJet time,
yeah,
when we were looking for ways to make that economical.
So right now we're just following what, you know, it's set up in the bylaw.
Yeah.
Certainly something that could be looked.
Well, and if it's cost plus 40 cents, I mean, it does kind of, I'd imagine, Fort St. John, because they still have, you know, those WestJet and Air Canada flights through there are going through a lot more fuel than we do, so they're able to be a bit more dynamic in where that price is, because they're not having to recoup costs.
We do have a reduced rate, correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa, but for scheduled traffic. So if we have commercial flights, I believe it is slightly different. Yeah, so for jet fuel, if we have a commercial carrier, it's cost plus 18 cents, so we have a little bit more incentivized. So this is just on the Avgas that is what it's set up.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification.
Yep.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor Sadnek?
Thank you, Worship. Just to comment on this, I mean, revenue from fuel sales at the airport
are great, but that's only if planes land here and need the fuel. So I'm in favor of the mayor's suggestion of using the ECDEV fund to support this event and get anywhere from 15 to 25 planes landing here requiring fuel. Seems like a very good event to support, so I'm in favor of that.
Do you want to make that motion?
Councillor McDonald has a comment.
Okay.
If he wants to, I can.
Okay. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I just had a quick question. I am fully in support as well. I was wondering, is it easier for us to offer this group that commercial rate of cost plus 18? Or is it easier to do the ECDEV sponsorship that the mayor's offering? What would be easier for the staff? What's the greater benefit to this club? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, through your worship, I think because it's in the bylaw and just how it's worded, the cleanest way is to do a grant and for us to offset it that way. Just because, the bylaw is meant to be followed. And so if we do the grant, we can offset it that way. And I think that's the best process to go forward. We can manage it on our end at the airport. I've talked to the airport manager. That's not an issue. And really, it's just another form of swim passes, really, is what we're doing, just in a different way. So, and then I think the greater discussion of, into the future, if council wants to look at fuel prices as a whole and all that, we could, if council wants to do that, certainly give us direction in the future. We could bring something back with some comparatives and what we want to do there.
Councillor, where you go? No? Okay. Councillor McDonald, thank you.
Okay, so if I understood that, you would like us to make a motion, I'll make the motion that we offer a $500 grant from our ECDEV fund as per what the mayor said. I'm putting it on the mayor. Carry that one.
To offset the fuel savings.
Thank you.
Second, Councillor Kemp. Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any discussion? I'll call that motion to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. I guess now if we wanted to give some direction to revisit that bylaw, what would you need there, Kevin? Just a motion to revisit the fuel costs at the airport in the bylaw, the fees and service charges?
Through your worship, if it's something the council wants to do, direct staff to bring back a report on airport fuel prices, City Dawson Creek and the region, and whether it makes any sense to make any changes to that.
Okay.
From an economic development perspective.
Councillor McDonald would like to make that motion?
I'll have something to say first.
Yeah. I was going to say, before we go revisiting the bylaw, it might make it worthwhile. I know we've got a couple councillors here who are involved in the airport stuff to set up some meetings with some of the stakeholders out at the airport and just have a conversation about, whether it's the flying club or some other people, what would make it more attractive, what would make it more competitive. The only issue I have with immediately going to adjusting the fuel rates is because of just how variable. Once we demonstrate we're willing to adjust the fuel rates, it's given how variable fuel is right now. I just don't want to end up establishing a norm we're going to have a hard time walking back. So I think, fuel is, yes, a big consideration for anybody who's a pilot, but maybe worth, if we're going to forego revenue, which is further subsidy in effect, seeing if there's a better way to spend money out there that would serve the same purpose and not require us to update the bylaw. But I'm happy to hear from my colleagues.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. I think, the volatility of gas prices, if we're a cost plus, we're protected by the volatility there anyways. I agree, probably worth the discussion with our local users to see what would be most enticing to them and what they see from their own insights of attracting more users into the airport is never a bad conversation to have. But I think moving forward, getting a report from staff in the meantime on gas pricing, et cetera, is worthwhile. My only fear is if we end up in a pricing war with Fort St. John. I don't want to start a pricing war where we go down, they go down, they go down, right? That's never healthy for anybody, right? But I think I would be happy to make the motion to have staff look into it and bring back a report on current pricing in the region, et cetera.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Sudnick. Discussion. I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. Thank you. Next reports, 9.1, we have report number 26-098 from the General Manager of Major Infrastructure and Development regarding BC Transit Operating Agreement 2026 to 2027, which is deferred from May 25th, 2026. So I believe the motion that will be on the floor is that it's, oh, there isn't? No. Okay, just report. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to move that we receive this report for discussion.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Kemp. I'll call this to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Just to bring back, last time we spoke about transit, we did defer a decision then because we were going back to have conversations with Step Up and Ride at that time. I'd just like to bring back the report that in conversations with the Board of Step Up and Ride and moving forward after the tragic loss of Mona in the community, there is still a definite desire in the future for them to expand their services and work with the community. They need a year, though. Honestly, they need at least a year to put themselves back into a position of success before they are ready to entertain that thought again. I think waiting on the year makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of things that need to change, need to develop, whether it's staffing, whether it's board participation, all of it. They've got a lot to work through before they are ready to actually entertain the expansion. So that's where we're at. And again, I'm confident in that board. I'm confident in their service. I'm confident in a year their ability to take on the expansion. But for now, they need a year. That's all I can report back from Step Up and Ride.
Okay. Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl?
Thank you, Worship. Through you to staff, I know we are in the midst of a conversation with BC Transit around potentially updating the operating model to include the one bus loop or the two us renewing this operating agreement for the year does not necessarily commit us to that or not. That's a different conversation altogether still, or is this us ratifying that as well?
So, through your worship, this agreement doesn't change or commit us to anything.
Okay.
This is the annual operating agreement, so just lays out the terms, the costs, has the same provisions. That if we look to make a change, we still have notice periods and things like that. It's not committing to any new routes, anything like that.
All right, and because as Councillor McDonald noted, there's some things that are up in the air. Number one, the current and potential future capacity of Step Up and Ride. Number two, the costs associated with changing the model when we do it, how that impacts the school year. And number three, the fact that it will be a different council making that decision when it comes back around. So,
Yeah, and through your worship, if council wanted to make a change with BC Transit, and let's say they wanted to implement some of the new route designs that they had, like Devin could correct me if I'm wrong, but there would be quite a lead time and a bit of work
you're
before that
changing
actually
bus
saw
stops
that.
and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
like
So
you'd be over
hopefully
a
by the
year.
time that comes around, we'll
Yeah.
have some certainty around what the other various pieces look like.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Just one clarification.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. Through you to staff, and pardon my ignorance about exactly how the diary works, but should we put it in our diary that we revisit Step Up and Ride and their situation in April of 2027? No. Okay. How does, I don't understand how that works.
Yeah. Tab, on the
There was
diary.
something that was brought up to me by Councillor Parslow, so I just was looking for clarification.
Through you to the chair, that's a great question. And it's my assumption that if you would like to make a motion to add this to the diary, however, the annual operating agreement, there needs to be a decision made.
Oh, absolutely.
Soon
Absolutely. I
on
just
that.
wanted clarification on the diary before I made a motion.
If you want to make a motion, and then we can add it to the diary, and I believe that would be a standing item onto the agenda. If there's something different that I didn't explain correctly here, I will update you on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Tab.
Can I make a motion?
Yes.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to remove that report number 26-098 from the General Manager of Major Infrastructure and Development regarding Transit Annual Operating Agreement 2026 to 2027 be received. Further, the Council approved the BC Transit Annual Operating Agreement effective from April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2027 at the proposed cost of $437,262.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Apollonio. Discussion.
I think this is just appropriate, considering just the way things moved, that we get into this so that we give ourselves the year to reassess and figure out where we're moving forward with transit.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any other discussion? I'll call this to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried.
Your worship, just a quick question. So I'm going to take that the proposals that BC Transit brought us about different routes and stuff like that. At this point, council has no appetite to make any changes in lieu of just everything that is kind of the situation we're in, where things are going, because Transit will want to know if there was any uptake on any of those proposed changes. I'm assuming at this point it's status quo.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay,
Looks like that's
just wanted to make sure.
unanimous. Yeah. Okay. Councillor McDonald. Thanks.
Thank you, Worship. I'd also like to make the motion that we add into the diary to revisit the Step Up and Ride in April of 2027.
Second, Councillor Sudnick. Discussion. I'll call this to vote. Vote is closed. That's carried. Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Next, 9.2, we have report number 26-087 from the General Manager of Community Services regarding South Peace Community Multiplex unfinished space. Councillor Earl.
Move we receive for discussion.
Second, Councillor Kemp. Call this to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. Go ahead, Councillor Earl.
Thank you, and thank you for the report, staff. So through you to staff, as noted in the report, the current unfinished space you're referring to is used for storage, chairs, tables, all manner of odds and ends that you need to run a facility of that. This space were to be finished, how would we store stuff, or how would you anticipate us having enough storage space for the current accoutrements?
Councillor Business.
Councillor Business. Thank you for the report, staff. So through you to staff, as noted in the report, the current unfinished space you're referring to is used for storage, chairs, tables, all manner of odds and ends that you need to run a facility of that. This space were to be finished, how would we store stuff, or how would you anticipate us having enough storage space for the
Go ahead, Ryan.
Councillor Earl. Yeah, so currently the area, it's one large area where there is already a significant amount of storage already being utilized. The areas right in front of them, I'm going to call it the squash courts and racquetball courts, yes, is not decked and therefore is not utilized, but the space right in front of it is currently being used for storage as well. So that area, it's a small area, would just be moved, I'm going to use the word moved over to the, I'm going to say the east side and be put onto the storage onto the other area.
Okay. And out of fairness to my colleague, Councillor Parslow, who's not here today, but he did mention one of his apprehensions with moving forward with something like this is his concern that it would ultimately increase the operational costs or the subsidy required by the city to run the facility. As I saw in the Ovintiv Centre's annual general report today, that was not necessarily the case with the completion of Mercer Hall. And it may be far too early in the stages to give an adequate answer to that, but so we can convey it to Councillor Parslow later. Could you speak to that concern?
Through your worship. So currently, from a operational aspect, the building, some HVAC systems are in place. There is some lighting in place. I would anticipate that there would be small increases to I'm going to call it the utility / aspects of the HVAC systems. However, you already have staff in place to take care of those. Making the assumption that the revenues associated with or the opportunities for revenues for that space would offset some of those costs. Currently, right now, you're already heating that space. There is, again, there's already some lighting in that space. There's already some of those mechanisms. The shell's already there. Sort of everything, I don't want to say everything is there, but there certainly is some enhancements that need to happen from further operational, from a staffing perspective. Those costs would be offset by the revenues generated by the cost by hosting events, whether it be a meeting or there'd be an assumption that there would be some sort of food and beverage or rent paid towards those aspects. If not, it would be doing exactly what it's doing right now. You're already heating that space, but you'd have the lights would be off. So I think that the overall impact would be marginal.
Okay, thank you. And I see in option 2, the complete planning and design, it's anticipating up to $150,000 from the 2026 and 2027 consulting and design services capital budget. So that's split over 2 years, or is that just not knowing when the work would begin?
I think it's a bit of both, Councillor Earl, through your worship. We anticipate if you were, we would go back and work through those next steps of a timing aspect, and work through the appropriate professionals to work through those aspects. It's really just the design aspect of it, not the next steps of like contracts or any contractual documentations and construction administration or any of that stuff. It's just purely design aspect to get to a Class D estimate to find out what it really is. And then from that, there are, whether coming back and put it as part of a capital consideration. There are other grants that are out there through NDIT and then through the federal and provincial governments through their new, I can't remember the name. I don't want to say it's Build Canada Fund. I think that's not the right program. Yeah. But there are programs that are out there as well. But you need to be shelf ready.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Turn the floor over if my colleagues have questions.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship. No real questions, honestly. I had a bit of a sticker shock with the price of $150,000 for design. Can you just explain a little bit more of why it would be so costly for the design on on that space?
Through your worship to Councillor McDonald. So there's electrical, mechanical, structural, and architectural aspects. I think the structural aspect is going to be, I'm going to use the word more significant than perhaps an starting from scratch sort of idea. The dollar or the allocation request is up to. I don't believe it will require the full $150,000, but it's certainly one of the, without getting into the specific next steps and really working through each aspect of it, will be some coordination of integrating existing systems into perhaps new systems of HVAC and lighting, et cetera, et cetera. So this isn't perhaps a brand new build, right, where you're starting off with everything brand new. So I anticipate that there's going to be a little bit more
intricacies.
Thank you, with the integration of some of that.
But these are going to be truly engineered
Yeah.
plans that you're going to have.
100%,
so
yeah.
Moving forward. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I was just curious what we were getting.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Apollonio.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Ryan. I think, though I received coming from also Councillor Earl from Councillor Parslow, but I think if I'm going to go to the income generated by the multiplex, I think in the future capital expense will be offsetted by the construction of the said space. Is that right? Yeah, operating. As long it will be furnished as future income generating space, I think that would be okay for me.
Thanks, Councillor Apollonio. Other discussion? I got a lot, I have a lot, like I imagine all of us on this, but I just, one question, say we move forward with getting this study done, and then we obviously don't know what the cost looks like to get a project done of this size, but where would that fit in our future priority lists of, we have a lot of capital projects, I know there's lists of priorities, right? When you're going through them each year and you're bringing us capital lists, you're taking the top 10 out of the 100 or whatever that is. So where does this fit in on the importance? Like, is this something that you could realistically see coming to the capital budget in 27 or 28? Or are you thinking it's further down the road, or?
Yeah, so through your worship, you're right. Every year is, you bring everything together and we prioritize, and each year that changes depending on what's happened over the last 12 months. I think realistically, you'd be looking at best case scenario, probably a 28 budget cycle for consideration for, because I think you would see planning in 26 and 27 finalizing the concepts and designs and all of that sort of stuff. So I don't think it would be until the fall of 27 at the earliest that you'd see something to consider. And we just have to weigh that out amongst everything else. Unless, of course, council wants to see it. Council's always got the opportunity to move a project forward in those priorities. But I think Ryan and I talked about this, is that there are grant opportunities out there federally, as crazy as this sounds, for these types of spaces. And so, if you have something that's eligible, then you've got an opportunity to see that. I think the critical piece for this is whatever, if we go down this path and whatever's designed and maybe ultimately built one day, is you want to ensure that it's not a very specific space. You want to make sure it's a multi-use space that can be used for any number of things, whether it's meetings, whether it's recreation, whether it's, you name it. You want to make sure you don't limit yourself, that it's a very multi-purpose space, if we've learned anything over the years, so.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think too, like, can you look at some of the events that we host down there, like, the gun club, for example, like they're bursting at the seams, and they've, this year when I was there, they've filled up every square inch of that facility. So you look at that, like as they're growing, and, to have something that's a little bit more multi-purpose, like it just allows that growth as well too, right? And that's just one of the clubs that are in there. There's others that are filling that space up fully as well.
Having those breakout spaces, right, as you've seen when you've gone to conferences, is you could have Mercer Hall or the Bowl as your kind of main auditorium, but then you have the ability to have breakout spaces to utilize those, for meetings, and then you can come back out and without having to rejig and reset everything up. And, you see that as you go into other convention centers. It's just an opportunity to expand, the business of the event center and how things are changing in our world as far as the entertainment business, right? So it's just another avenue.
Well, and you see that when you go to these other communities that have these facilities, right? They're busy, right? Like they're with conferences and conventions. That's what, it's shifted to that.
Yeah.
And anytime we've hosted any event here, the feedback we get is that our facility and the way we execute it and offer it, and when I say we, that's nothing of us. It's all to that to all that it's all Councillor McDonald. But no, like you just know that there's some opportunity there, right? Like you hear, how much everybody's impressed with the facility, and so to be able to offer it at a different level and to more organizations, there's definitely an economic benefit to that facility, but also to the community.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Councillor McDonald?
Thank you, Worship, and hopefully I'm not interrupting you. I just wanted to say I appreciate being shelf ready so that we are ready for when federal or provincial money is available to us, that we're maximizing our usage of that. It is a big cost to get this shelf ready, but better to be ready to take advantage of federal money or provincial money than to be sitting there not able to act, for sure, right?
Yeah, thank you. Just one question on Ryan, you said that there is some grants out there, so is this something that there's some open grants that we should maybe fast track getting this done versus, taking out a 2026 and 27 budget, is it something that we should get done sooner than later so it's ready for something that's already out there? Oops. Go ahead.
Through your worship, I do believe there are I can't remember the name of the federal government one that eludes me right now. I think it's just part of the planning process that we need to go through. So starting it sooner and starting it in 26, and then carry on to have the Class D and the understanding of the stuff, the plans in 27, I think is better than starting in 27 and, carrying it on towards the end. I don't believe that, as to what Kevin's point, from a true capital perspective for the consideration, that information would come forward as part of your 2028 capital consideration, as part of the whole story of all the other capital projects and all that stuff, inclusive of grant opportunities and applications, which would come back to you anyways, because highly likely they're going to require some sort of funding commitment, but also a resolution from you as well to move forward. So I think that there's that beginning work that needs to take place prior to you even get to that point to make those considerations.
Okay. Thanks, Ryan. Councillor Earl?
Just, I guess, one quick follow-up. The $150,000 allocation in the existing budget, was that ask put in anticipation of this, or is that just a number we put in anticipating we're going to have asks throughout the year, and this is what's occupying it currently? Are we shuffling anything else down the list of priorities to fund this?
Through your worship to Councillor Earl. So currently in the capital budget, there is a there's a facilities.
Yeah, facilities consult, yeah.
Facilities design consulting services bucket. And in that bucket, that money is identified for future work and capital work in preparation for subsequent years. So we've expended some dollars in there in anticipation for plans and work to be done now in advance for the I'm going to get my years wrong, 2027. Yeah, 2027 capital year project. And so understanding the timing of when this project starts, and we have to talk to a few people, et cetera, that we wouldn't be expending the full amount this 2026 capital season, that we would be looking to carry forward as the work progresses and those that project cadence and payment terms associated.
Yeah, okay. The reason I think it's great to take the initiative. I know, and I've probably said this before, one of my frustrations when I first started on council is that we did not have the capital resources at that time to bring projects to the point where they were shelf ready or shovel ready, as they're sometimes termed, and as a result, we were never eligible or able to apply for grants that would have offset those costs. So I think it's good to be have the initiative. I just want to make sure we're not deferring any other needs or anything in service to that.
Mr. Mayor, I also think it's important to note that this is one of your items within your strategic plan as well. So we'll, whatever your decision is, whether you receive it for information or accept one of these recommendations or some sort of other shape, it does speak to one of your specific strategic priorities as well.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Councillor Earl.
Are you going to
I was going to do the motion.
I was going to make a motion, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move recommendation 2, option 1, complete planning and design only, that council direct staff to proceed with planning and design work only for the redevelopment of the unfinished squash courts and racquetball area into flexible multipurpose meeting and programming space while maintaining the eastern portion for operational storage. Further, that the work include the required architectural, structural, mechanical, and electrical designs and preparations of a Class D cost estimate, an estimated cost of $150,000 to be allocated from the 2026 and 2027 Facilities Consulting Design Service Capital Budget, and further that staff return to council with detailed information and recommendations regarding next steps for consideration and potential inclusion in a future capital budget.
Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Councillor Sednick. Discussion.
No, thank
We'll
you.
call this motion to vote. Wasn't ignoring you on the second there, Councillor McDonald. I was. Vote is closed. It's carried. That was 9-2, right? Yeah. Next, 9.3, we have report number 26-115 from the Chief Administrative Officer regarding policy amendment election official pay rates. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. Do you want me to read out the rates as well? No?
I'm just pulling it up right now. If it's under the recommendation, then yes.
Yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I'd like to move the report number 26-115 from the Chief Administration Officer regarding policy amendment election official pay rates be received. Further, the council approve amendments to election official pay rates policy to update election official pay rates in preparation for the 2026 general local election as follows. Chief Election Officer, $1,700 flat rate. Deputy Chief Election Officer, $1,250 flat rate. Presiding Election Officer / alternate Presiding Election Officer, $400 flat rate plus $25 per hour. Election officials at $23 an hour. Mandatory training, $100 flat rate. And further, that following the successful completion of the required 30-day review period, the amended election official pay rates policy replaced the existing election official pay rates policy.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Apollonio. Discussion.
I would just like to get everybody out to vote. It's a huge thing, right? And it does cost the city a lot to host an election. So I just highly recommend everybody take their right to get out and vote in the municipal elections.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl?
Just out of curiosity, looking over and I appreciate the report, and I'll vote in favor, but just a question, is it, to the best of my knowledge, it's standard practice across the province that the chief electoral officer and the various electoral positions are done by city staff as part, is that not the norm? Yeah, because that's just what I was wondering, because it looks to me like it's essentially like an added contract position on top, and I understand for the purposes of practicality and training and understanding what you're doing, city administrative staff doing it makes perfect sense. I just
Through
wondering
worship,
if it's there's
Tab will
other
correct me if I'm
models.
wrong, but I think it depends on the organization, the size of the organization. I mean, some
The number
big
of votes you're
communities probably have
counting.
departments that run it, and others contract
Well,
it
yeah,
out.
I mean, I'd imagine for, a city like Vancouver, it'd be comparable to like Elections BC having to hire a bunch of temporary staff to come on board to work the election period and do ballots, whereas for us, it's something that can be done.
This enables, and we've always in the past, we've had these key positions as staff, but then it's enabled us to hire other folks that are not within the organization as well on election day to actually be
be
on
there.
there. So I think it's a bit of a blend, but you got anything to add to that, Tab?
Yeah, no, I was just curious about the because it's, it's an interesting kind of distinction to make for people who maybe aren't observing local government with a keen eye, that it's a different role you're adopting for that time.
And you'll see later in the meeting in one of the bylaw amendments that, the act requires that you name, chief election officers and these sorts of things. The pay for them is just the recognition that,
they're putting in some extra hours.
Significant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of legislated deadlines that have to be met, and intense scrutiny, and that's all of this is done on top of
standard
these sorts of
duties.
things, getting ready for your council meetings every 2 weeks. So there's a significant amount of time and effort that goes into running an election for sure.
Thank you, and we certainly all appreciate that. I was looking to, for the sake of my own understanding, kind of get a sense of the nuance there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed. That's carried. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll come back. For report number 26-117 from the General Manager, Major Infrastructure and Development regarding the water supply system project Phase 1 progress update. So just before Council, I'm just going to give Devin to just give a brief overview of this. But before that, Devin, I just want to thank you for this report. There's a lot of detail in it, and I know you downsized it quite a bit, so it was easy to read, but it's just a lot of phenomenal information in there, and just the way you presented it was very good. But also just to thank you for how much effort you put into this. I don't think a lot of people get to see or appreciate what you put into this, and I know you have a big role with the city, and then this is another thing that's on your plate, and it's just definitely appreciative of this report, but also the efforts that you put in, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, through your worship, Mayor and Council. I can give this a brief overview here, so I'll give you a tight 1-minute rundown. How about?
Kevin just started the timer. So you
Like 4 seconds a page. Go.
There we go. So this report, it's a Phase 1 progress update on the water supply system project that you approved in late April. And work is now fully underway across all of our technical, regulatory, and engagement streams. So the core issue remains long-term water reliability, as you know through the report. Current reservoir levels are strong, and they are continuing to be strong with the rain that we're getting, but they are driven by seasonal conditions. So the city still relies on a single vulnerable watershed. So our Phase 1, that we focused on 3 questions: future demand, viable source options, and how to deliver those. So progress so far. We have built an updated population and water demand forecasts out to 25 and 50 years. As you see in the report, the first few sections, I actually provided some tables. It's important to note in the population table here that we show a population of 22,000, 24,000, 28,000 for 2050. That is regional population. It's not local Dawson Creek population because we're looking at all of the water users, not just those that reside within the city of Dawson Creek. We've started raw water sampling on our key rivers, which are the Peace, the Pine, and the Murray. We identified some preliminary intake locations and pipeline routes into Hanson and South Dawson reservoirs. At the end of the report, there's an appendix with a map of the starred locations. We haven't provided you the pipeline routes just yet. They're very conceptual. So for now, in this very intro kind of update, we've just provided you general locations of where we're looking. We've also developed a regulatory strategy and started early engagement with our Indigenous groups, agencies, and industry. I think a couple weeks ago, I sent out over 40 or 50 emails to various interested parties and have now been going through connecting with many of them. So where is this going? Phase 1 wraps up mid-August with a short list of viable options, high-level costs, risks, and trade-offs. I know I had originally mentioned late July for you. I apologize, but I wanted to make sure that we get this right. I could see that the project team is putting a huge amount of effort into this. A couple weeks may mean the difference between a fully polished solutions for you and something that maybe needs some work still. And I mean, we're looking at foundational work here that's going to go beyond our generation. I want to make sure we get it just right. So it's important also to note that no final option is selected yet. This phase is about narrowing the field and shortlisting. Moving into phase 2 is going to require more funding. It's going to require deeper analysis and multi-year planning toward design and construction. So the bottom line for this is the project's on track. It's well structured, and we're building a defensible foundation for major long-term infrastructure decisions. But it is still going to require significant continued investment. Do you have any questions? I can go ahead and answer those if you'd like.
Thank you, Devin. Did he pass the minute test?
No.
No, thank you. I'm just joking. Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Worshipman. Thank you, Devin, and your team for the report. And for anybody watching, it is 13 pages, so he very much abbreviated it. So I'd encourage those folks who are inevitably going to have opinions in the comments section to pick this up first and give it a read and hopefully save yourself some aggravation. So a couple things I think are worthy of note in there. With the water demand projections, the maximum daily demand 75 years out came in at 18,300 cubes a day?
Yes.
So initially, I think when we put in for the first swing at the this project, we asked for upwards of 40,000 a day, did we not? So maybe overshot the mark there, but...
sorry, just to jump in there. So when you look on the right side of that table, it's cubes per day. On the left side of the table is cubes per year.
Oh,
so
okay.
original cost is 14 million cubes per year, yeah. And our average daily demand, we're looking at 3.8. So when we said 40, we were saying 40,000 cubes per day was what we were talking about. And that's peak demand.
Okay.
So we've identified that, yes, 40,000 is maybe a little high.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the learning curve for us as a municipal government trying to undertake a major infrastructure project outside of city boundaries and the various coordinations with various stakeholders that occurs is a pretty steep learning curve for everybody. So we do appreciate you guys doing this. And as you noted, it's also worth looking at the fact that approximately a little more than a third of the people that are going to be using this water throughout the region aren't residents of Dawson Creek. And as we dig deeper into this and start looking at possible funding models, I think that is something to engage with our cohorts in Puskupi and the regional district at a very early stage so that there's an understanding of what our respective responsibilities and obligations are going to look like. Other than that, yeah, really fascinating report. Like I said, I appreciate kind of taking a beat and going back to the drawing board to make sure we're doing it right is, and to the people, looking at this externally, I appreciate you can feel like we sometimes move at a glacial pace, but this is very good information, and this is a big commitment we're looking to undertake. So it's important that we have all our ducks in a row.
Councillor, can you make the recommendation?
Oh, pardon me. I will also move the recommendation that report number 26-117 from the General Manager of Major Infrastructure and Development regarding Water Supply System Project Phase 1 progress update be received for information.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Second, Councillor Kemp. Call that to vote.
Oh, I think Councillor McDonald wanted to speak to it. Okay.
Vote is closed, and it's carried. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to share the same sentiments that Councillor Earl did. This will be the most important project we take on in the next 10 to 20 years. I appreciate the fact that we took a minute, we stepped back to reassess and reevaluate and make sure that we do this right. Devin, it's a great report. Your team is doing a great job. Well done. Keep it up.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Any other discussion? All right. Thanks, Devin.
Thanks.
All right. Next, we have 9.5, report number M26-119 from the Executive Assistant regarding Memo follow-up on the 2026 UBCM meeting requests. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move the report number M26-119 from the Executive Assistant regarding follow-up on 2026 UBCM meeting requests be received for information.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Sudnick. Discussion. Call this to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. Next, 9.6, we have report number 26-120 from the Capital Projects Manager regarding invitation to tender 2026-23 Capital Roadworks, 94 Avenue, 8th Street to 11th Street. Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move the recommendation that report number 26-120 from the Capital Projects Manager regarding invitation to tender 2026-23 Capital Roadworks, 94th Avenue, 8th Street to 11th Street be received. Further, the Council award the contract for ITT 2026-23 Capital Roadworks, 94th Avenue, 8th Street to 11th Street to Parallel Projects Incorporated at the tendered price of $1,161,911.28 excluding GST.
Thank you, Councillor Earl. Second, Councillor Apollonio. Discussion.
Just one follow-up, if I could, Your Worship. I see that the project is funded and falls within what we'd allocated in the capital budget. Could you just remind me of what the total estimated cost was approved in the budget? Sorry. Through you to staff.
I'll have Melissa take a look.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Through your worship, so it was split among different funds, but I believe the total budget was over 1.7 million when I looked at the report. I'd have to double check, but
Okay.
Were you wanting specifically within
No,
one
I was just
certain
one.
fund?
It's always good to hear it's under over budget, but it's nice in the financial piece to know what the initial budget was, so we can gauge how far. It's good for us because you know trends as the bids come in to see. You gauge the rate at which the things are coming in over and under budget. And I know there were a couple of years there where we were getting pretty close to what budgeted, and I think it had a lot to do with the inflationary pressures at the time. So either we've adjusted our process or inflation isn't the issue it was a year or two ago.
Well, and through your worship, for clarification too, that is the total budget, but there's a lot of other costs that go into that, to design services, engineering,
Yeah, okay.
staff time, contingencies, et cetera. So,
And that's not included in this figure. This is just the work.
correct.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed and it's carried. Next 10 bylaws, 10.1, we have report number 26-121 from the Director of Development Services regarding zoning bylaw number 4625, 2026 for consideration of adoption. Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move the recommendation that report number 26-121 from the Director of Development Services regarding zoning bylaw number 4625, 2026 be received. Further, that zoning bylaw number 4625, 2026 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Earl. Second, Councillor Kemp. Discussion.
I feel like some folks, the provincial government, owe Bill a beer. As they've created a great deal of work for him over the last year or two. But kudos to him for his work in the report. I appreciate it's a lot. A lot of the changes and that have been necessitated were not of our making. But thank you to staff for rolling with the punches and trying to keep us in compliance with our overlords at the province.
Good term.
Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. Next, 10.2, we have report number 26-056 from the corporate officer regarding land sale 1001 105th Avenue, PRRD admin building, bylaw number 4630, 2026 for consideration of first three readings. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move the report number 26-056 from the corporate officer regarding land sale 1001 105 Avenue, PRRD admin building, bylaw number 4630, 2026 be received. Further, that land sale 1001 105 Avenue, PRRD admin building, bylaw number 4630, 2026 be given first three readings.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Apollonio. Discussion. I'll call this motion to vote. Sorry, were you wanting to speak? Vote is closed and it's carried. Next, 10.3, report number 26-106 from the Deputy Corporate Officer regarding elections and assent voting, bylaw number 4633, 2026 for consideration of first three readings. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. I'd like to move the report number 26-106 from the Deputy Corporate Officer regarding elections and assent voting bylaw number 4633, 2026 be received. Further, the council give first three readings to election and assent voting bylaw number 4633, 2026, which repeals and replaces election and assent voting bylaw number 4527, 2022.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Second, Councillor Sudnick. Discussion. I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed and it's carried. Next is 11 Mayor's Business, Mayor's Updates. I'll just go through these briefly. I just attended a Rotary Sunrise meeting, just kind of giving an update on capital projects and some things. Also wanted to thank Ryan as well. He attended the lunch Rotary meeting, I think around that same week, and gave an update as well on some community things. So thank you, Ryan, for that. I also attended the Rotary Interact Club Jail and Bail. I just wanted to thank the Rotary Interact Club for just for putting this on and their commitment to all that they do to help in the community and internationally, and it was fun. Councillor McDonald was not locked up near long enough, but
you were under house arrest. I don't know what you're
yeah,
talking
exactly.
about.
I was late getting there for multiple reasons. And then, I can't remember. Fred, did message me the amount. I want to say it was over, like around that $14,000 mark. I can't remember, don't quote me on that, but I can't remember exactly. Also attended the pump track grand opening, which kind of spoke a little bit to earlier to Alex and Joe when they were here. But yeah, just great. There was weather was maybe not the best for the event, but there was still a good turnout, and there was a lot of the individuals that helped promote just bike riding. The pump track mountain bike riding association was there as well, so there was some good information. As well as John was there with Crime Stoppers.
529.
Yeah. Also attended the South Peace Health Expo. Just wanted to give a shout out to those groups that have thrown that on. So the South Peace Division of Family Practice is a big contributor to the success of healthcare in our community, but bringing everybody together. So it was amazing to see. There must have been, I don't know the number, but 50 plus providers in there. So it was nice just to see them together and networking. Yeah, it was really good to go in and visit with everybody. I had a tour from Equal Frank Ross, grade 5 and 6 tour. They came down here and did a tour of City Hall, spent some time here. They were next door as well. And then they also went out to the water treatment plant. So they had a full day at city facilities. So it was really nice. I wanted to thank Tourmaline for their time. They just gave us a tour of their northern facilities. So it was just Kevin and I spent a full afternoon with them, just really seeing their investment into the region, and there was a lot of education on what they do, and yeah, just a lot. Yeah, in all levels, lots what their investment is and what they do, but also some of the things they face in our province that, just for permitting and stuff. It was good to learn a lot on that too as well. So I can share more of that with anybody if they wish. Northern Lights College, I actually didn't get a chance to attend this, so I won't speak to it. South Peace Secondary School Musical Theater I attended last week, just the Frozen play. I just wanted to give a shout out to those students. Just a phenomenal performance. I don't know if anybody got the chance to watch it over the weekend. I went earlier last week because I was away this weekend during the day when they were doing it for schools. So I was in there with 500 elementary schools, and Central School was there as well. So it was great to be there, but just a phenomenal performance. And yeah, all of them, but the main characters and just their voices and how they can sing. It's just, yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, absolutely. I also attended Captain Brooks Gower and Trina Gower. They had a fundraising event held a bit ago. So I just wanted to thank Trina and Brooks for just organizing it and also inviting myself to it. It was a full event. Yeah, it was just an amazing evening to hear a bit of the story, and yeah, just to be there to congratulate them. And yeah, absolutely. It was a really phenomenal event, and yeah, obviously grateful for both, for Brooks and what he's been through and how far he's come. It's pretty phenomenal to see his growth and where he's at today. He was out there dancing as well, so it was just phenomenal to see and to be part of. So just a thank you to both of them. Louisiana Pacific was here. We had a meeting with them. Jordan and Darren from Louisiana Pacific met with council. A few councillors were there. Councillor McDonald. I can't remember who else. It was just you and I. Yeah, Councillor McDonald, myself, and Kevin. It was just great. I got a good update from them on where things are. They've had some changes just with stuff, the way the world economy is working in their industry. So they've had to do some shuffles the last couple of years. There has been some impact to some of their team members there, but they've kept it fairly minimal, actually, considering, and they're just really weathering the storm right now. They realize that it's likely short-term what they're going through, and they're committed to get through it. So they have a fairly significant capital investment going into that facility this year. So it was just really good to meet with them and hear from them. So CJDC, this was pretty special. Jeff Schock, who works next door at the fire hall, has been working there since 1995, I believe it is, 31 years. He goes in there and he helps clean the floors. He does some windows. He's got a whole amazing routine. So it's been pretty amazing part of this role, actually. I've got to build a relationship with Jeff over the last 3 years, and I've got to do numerous things with him and see what he's done. But his dream was to be on CJDC one day. So CJDC, Councillor Earl mentioned earlier about Michael, but we have they do a phenomenal job in our community. So they actually went out of their way and they went over there and they recognized his service and did a little, an article on him, ending one of the broadcasts I think it was last week. So if you haven't had the chance to watch it, I would. It was phenomenal. Fire Chief Marcel and myself were part of that, just really to congratulate him. Met his mom, which I've met before, but it was just, it was a real special recognition for Jeff and what he's contributed. So. Seniors Roundtable, I had a Seniors Roundtable a few weeks ago. It was a good turnout like they always are. It was great. Just ask a lot of questions. It's a lot of just organic conversation. I don't have a lot to report back on that, but and then I had a lot of media interviews over the last while. Councillor Earl spoke earlier about the tie. I did that one the day after he did as well. So they reached out to both of us, so it was great. And I did a couple, which I don't quite remember what they were, but I know it was a busy few weeks on with CBC and CJDC. And then the Dawson Creek Firefighters donation to the Dawson Creek and District Hospital Foundation. We were there last week. They presented a check to the Dawson Creek and District Hospital Foundation. They're redoing a room in the new hospital to help. They did it in the original hospital, so it's something that they wanted to do. And part of the fundraiser Brooks and Trina did as well was towards this as well, but through the Dawson Creek Firefighters Association. So I just wanted to thank them for all they do. I did get the opportunity to thank the Firefighters Association at the event, but they do a lot to help people when they're in tough times in their life, and they're going into situations where everybody else is leaving. But what they do afterwards, and this association does, is it's pretty phenomenal, really. Like it just doesn't end when they end their job that day. They're always doing things to help the community and those individuals that have suffered. And I've seen it firsthand. But I've just got to see it a lot more too over the last 4 years. So I just wanted to thank them. Any questions on any of those? No? All right. Next, 11.2, we have a delegation. The delegation from the Dawson Creek and District Chamber of Commerce. They have a request for a grant to cover their taxes for 2026. I think it was around $9,800. We heard earlier our grant budget's at $3,900. For the remainder of the year, actually, $3,900. I don't know if somebody would like to make a recommendation here. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Worship. Before we start this, can I just ask a question through you to staff?
Go ahead.
If we are to grant this, where's the money going to come from? Do we have? I'm not sure.
So, through your worship, if you were to grant it, you'd be, overexpending the grant budget. And that would have to be absorbed throughout. I mean, we have line items and codes that happens every year. You end up spending more. It's like snow removal. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. We have to work within that as best we can. Now, things like snow, we have no control over. These things we do have control over, but still, that's a choice of council. Like I say, so if you were to do that, you'd be looking for another over $5,500, plus or minus. So, yeah, it would have to be absorbed somewhere.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Councillor.
So before I make a motion, I'm just going to say this is a really tough one for me because the chamber provides a lot of value to our business community. They are very good partners with us for our community awards. We've already had to go through 2 partners on the community awards within the 3 years that we brought it back to what it is. I think a very substantial event that I don't want to see us have to go through a third partner with. I think the chamber did a great job with it last year. This is a tough one. There's been a lot of need for financial support this year, and I'm truly worried that we are going to grant this, and without the sale of the building, we won't see the continued value of the grant because they will still hit their threshold for survivability. So it's a really tough one on me.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Earl.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move that we decline their request.
Thank you, Councillor Earl. Second, Councillor Sudnick. Discussion.
I agree with what Councillor McDonald said. The issues I have with the Chamber's request is, number one, we're less than a month out from taxes being due. I think it would have been appropriate for this request to come our way much, much earlier in the year, so we could make room for it within our budget. I know this last year we had a couple instances where we were forgiving a loan or making some other spending decisions that weren't budgeted for, and that was reflected in our audit, and that's nothing. I don't like supplementary budgeting partway through the year when it's unnecessary, and in this instance, a failure to plan, I don't think meets the definition of necessary, and this should have come before us. Number two, the chamber does generate revenue on that building through commercial leases or rentals, and I'm sure there are a number of commercial landlords throughout the city who would appreciate a break on their taxes. I understand the chamber is kind of unique in the service it offers, but we do have to be mindful of fairness to everybody else who is paying the full freight of their taxes every year. And lastly, while the people who came and presented to us today, the individuals in their positions are not responsible for the situation the chamber's in, there were a number of decisions made by their predecessors, the boards, and the executive directors, which weakened their financial position and brought them to the point they're here today. And it's tough. I mean, at a certain point, to Councillor McDonald's point, if I thought $9,800 would make the difference, I could see a way through that. I don't, looking at the financials provided, as somebody else noted, it's fairly rosy projections compared to what they've done previously. And I don't think the $9,800 is going to make all the difference in the world in this instance. And number two, the ask is coming to us fairly late in the day, and I don't like the last minute stuff. I think it's bad form for us as a government to accommodate. And if we are going to work with nonprofit, we should insist on, hold the line on, we need to respect one another's timelines and capacity.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? Councillor Apollonia.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also echo with Councillor Kyle and, of course, Councillor Earl. I know this is just only on my head. If we will grant this, for example, and since they're selling the building, is that there a way they could pay it back? Or not a good practice?
I'm sure there's a way if there was a wish to do it as a loan, but yeah. Yeah. Any other discussion? No. I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. One opposed. Councillor McDonald. Anything else on this delegation? No. All right, next, 11.3, we have the delegation from the South Peace Mile Zero Park Society. Not maybe a direct ask, I guess Councillor Earl brought up that maybe it was something that we could put towards budget, and they seem to say that, so I don't know if that's something we would like. Councillor Earl?
Before I make a motion, just a question through you to staff. The other part of, I guess, to the extent there was an ask, was the actual plan itself having been vetted by staff. And I mean, there's two components. Is number one, have our staff reviewed it and are they okay with it? And then number two, is there some funding we can provide? So I'm just wondering what that should look like as a motion to ensure that we are keeping in mind they're doing wonderful work, but the last undertaking of this magnitude with MOPS turned into a bit of a dog's breakfast because we didn't cross our T's and dot our I's. So I want to make sure we're not finding ourselves in that situation again.
Yeah. Through your worship, I'll go to the second question first, because the first one I'll have to ask these guys down here about. So from a budget request, we were discussing that on one of the breaks. And the reason we had some challenges last go around is if the city is going to fund this project or contemplate funding it at a future budget, it's going to need to be our project. We're going to have to manage it. We're going to have to do that. Because I think where the problems lie is if we're funding it but we're not managing it, then we run into issues with being able to capitalize it, being able to do all sorts of things because it's not actually our project. It's on our property. There's just a lot of nuance. This is what we learned last time. We can't issue charitable tax receipts because they had some groups wanting to donate work, but they wanted that, but it wasn't our project, so we couldn't do that. There's just a lot of nuances.
Okay.
If we're going to be funding it, then we should be managing the project. They indicated it's about $750,000, but then they were talking about doing all the landscaping and all those things outside of that. So you're going to add another couple hundred, just ballpark, 150,000, whatever the number is. But that would be my.
Yeah,
if we're going to do it, then we're going to do it.
That lacking in specificity with respect to the actual amount being requested and how much their work might offset the total cost. And once again, no shade on Alex and his team. They do a lot of work and they've put a lot of work into that facility, but we ultimately did end up having to, I think, forgive $350,000 of unbudgeted expense. And
we couldn't capitalize
the fundraising wasn't what was anticipated, and trying to, I really, as I noted in the previous discussion with the chamber grant, is the kind of supplementary budgeting as by the seat of our pants is in poor form for government. So how do we, once again, if we're going to be making any financial contribution, you're suggesting we're taking the project entirely out of their hands from an operational standpoint and putting it out to tender and completing it ourselves, in which case it's wholly within our capital budget and ours to do. But then, once again, it is their baby, and I'm sure they have some sense of ownership, but we need to maintain line of sight.
So those are discussions that we're going to have with Mile Zero Park Society as we work through that. But if they're looking for funding, that's how we would have to approach it.
Well, I'll forego making a motion at the moment because it looks like Councillor McDonald
And
wants
so the
to.
second question you had about has it been reviewed by staff? I can't answer that, but I would look down to these guys, see if either of them have.
Through your worship to Councillor Earl, staff has not reviewed it in just as much as council. You've seen it. I've seen the design as it's been presented here, and I presented last year. We haven't really gone through it at all. As We just met with Milesboro Park Society from a leaseholder aspect, right? Go through their lease and connect and all that. Ask them for their wishes, needs, wants, and all that item as we do with all of our leaseholders. And then we put all their requests and stack them all together in terms of priorities. HVAC, building envelope, health and safety, how's it stack up in the Parks Rec master plan and the active transportation master plan and all those sort of different things. So we haven't really gone through a thorough, by any stretch of imagination, a thorough review of the information or pricing or the line items and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Councillor McDonald.
Excuse me. Thank you, Worship. Just out of curiosity, was there an ask in there about the insurance and municipal insurance for the pump track and because it kind of seemed like they were hinting at that they were asking about us taking over the insurance, but I'm just curious if there was an ask there.
Yeah. Through your worship to Councillor McDonald, so currently the current practice is the city reimburses our leaseholders 100% of their commercial general liability, as well as for the Milesboro Park, the city reimburses Milesboro Park Society for the pump track insurance as well currently. And I believe that, I think the CGL is approximately $7,700-ish, and the pump track insurance is approximately $1,800 a year.
Okay. And the only other comment I have in regards to us taking over the project, I wonder what that would do to their fundraising efforts. If it's a city project, they're probably going to get zero fundraising efforts. If we leave it in their hands, there's a much higher potential for local private investment. So I would hesitate there for us taking it out of their hands, right? Just to not hinder the local support, right? It's a really tough one.
Well, and further to that, it's like this is an organization and a group that's, you want to empower them to do what they can, and it'll get more complicated if we take it over.
Oh, absolutely, right. And then we lose the in-kind part too, right? So that's a really tough one for me for us to take it over, right?
Well, and it's through your worship. It's not that it's a want. We don't want to take it over.
No, not at all.
But what we found last time is they were wanting charitable receipts and all that for all these good things that you're talking about, but we can't do that unless it's our project.
Yeah.
So there's that, push-pull there that we need to try and sort out.
100%. Yeah.
On the insurance, just lastly on that is if we take on all the insurance and then there's a claim, it affects our insurance.
Yes.
That's why it's better for us to reimburse them and they hold the insurance.
Yes.
Because every time there's an issue at one of these facilities, if it's impacting, we've got such a huge portfolio for insurances, we don't want to impact that by something that happens at a,
minor.
Yeah. So that's,
we don't have line
yeah.
of sight of.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was an ask there when we were talking about the ask. So thank you.
Okay. Is there a recommendation? I guess we can, Councillor Earl.
Well, I think the natural next step would be for direct staff to sit down with them and get a better understanding of the scope of the project before we even refer it to the budget, to understand, because it looks like we're either all in or all out on this, essentially, for the sake of our own accountability.
Yeah.
I think there was a motion there.
Yeah, sorry. Motion is to refer the matter to staff to engage with the MOPS, or engage with MOPS to understand the scope of the project and what's involved, so we can decide whether it would be appropriate to have it potentially included in the budget cycle or to leave it with them entirely.
and I think part of that process is
Just one sec, please. Can I get a second? Councillor Sudnick.
Sorry, I was just going to say, then we can come back and we can let council know what those funding options may or may not be as we work through that and understand more on their side, what they're looking for, and then that enables us what we could do, if anything.
Yeah, and that's ultimately my goal here, isn't to stifle their efforts, because as has been noted, they put in a tremendous amount of effort. It's to make sure that we're not replicating the downside of the last, the pump track, as wonderful as it is and as well utilized as it is, became a bit of an albatross from an administrative standpoint around how we manage that and how we are accountable to the public, because we've got a capital project that's receiving public resources that didn't go through the standard vetting process, and it's not, irrespective of the ultimate value of the project, it's not how we want public projects to proceed. So in the interest of not replicating those errors, I think that would be the most prudent next step.
Thanks, Councillor Earl. Any other discussion? I'll call this motion to vote. Vote is closed. It's carried. We're after 12 now, and I think we have a group. Are they here? Okay. Kevin, did you have an update?
Do it after.
Okay, I was just going to say, if you didn't have an update, there's nothing left really on the agenda, so I can go through it. But if you did, then we'll come back in.
There's
Not-
nothing, yeah, there's nothing really that I need to update at this particular junctions.
Okay, was there any questions for Kevin? No? Okay. That's not rushing you, like there, okay. All right, 13 diary, nothing. 14 consent calendar. Did anybody want to lift anything from the consent calendar? No motion to accept the consent calendar. Councillor Earl, second. Councillor Sudnick, I'll call that to vote. Vote is closed, and that's carried. No media. 15, 16, recess to close meeting. 16.1, resolution to move into meeting of council closed to the public. Agenda item 4.1, section 91E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements. If the council considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality, in section 91K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of municipal services that are at their preliminary stages, and that in the view of the council could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality if they were held in public. Councillor Sudnick, Councillor Apollonio, I'll call that to vote. Vote is closed, and it's carried. Thank you, everyone.